Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by and welcome to today's web seminar. My name is Woon. Today, I will walk you through on the general overview of GST mechanism in Malaysia. Now, I do understand that the major concerns of businesses are more about having good compliances as to avoid penalties and most important, to alleviate cash flow because you probably do not want money flowing out from your business due to GST. To help you get started, building strong foundation would be a way to help yourself. Without stalling the time, let's get started. I have observed that GST has been misled by many who might have misunderstood how it works. I can't really judge them any further because I do not know them. But then again, they are giving false information, which is something I would not tolerate. First of all, 6% is only charged on the value added to goods or services. It isn't 6% compounding. The general concept of GST is that you spend and you pay, which means at the instant you consume, you pay GST. Also, it is a multi-stage tax mechanism where GST levies on almost every industry. This point may sound contradicting to the first point, but no worries, I will explain further why it isn't. Before looking further at GST system, let's take a look on the comparison between the current system, which is sales and service tax, and GST. Currently, the sales and service tax that we have has narrow tax base where it imposed on manufacturing level only, whereas GST covers a wider scope that almost every businesses are subjected under this system. Sales tax has two types of rates, which are 5% and 10% respectively, and 6% for service tax as well. After 1st of April 2015, GST will kick in, replacing sales tax and service tax. Along the supply chain, sales tax is levied on a single stage only, which is manufacturing, whereas GST levy on almost all types of business activities. Sales tax that have been paid will have to be absorbed by the business itself as loss, whereas GST that has been paid by business is claimable. So this is one of the perks that you should take note of, since in a way it is benefiting businesses. Other than that, sales tax and service tax mechanism has this weakness which is known as cascading effect, whereby double taxation happens pretty often of hotel industry when you consume at a hotel, whereby you are paying service tax and indirectly paying sales tax at the same time. I will cover further illustration for this weakness example in the next module. In this illustration, imagine you yourself as a retailer, wholesaler, or maybe a manufacturer is a collecting agent of the RMCD, where RMCD in long is called Royal Malaysian Customs Department. You as a business do not fork out a single cent for this mechanism. What you do is that on one hand you collect GST from your consumers, and on the other hand you pay GST for your purchases and expenses to your suppliers. In the end, you take the two sides, which are input tax and output tax, offsetting each other to see if you are getting refund or making payment to customs. If you are collecting GST more than what you pay, then you have to make payable to customs. On the other hand, if you are paying more GST than what you collect, then you are entitled for a refund from the customs. In this computation, you can see that GST is a multi-stage tax mechanism. Along the supply chain, you can see that each of the parties are not bearing GST as cost, while the end consumers are the ones who bear GST costs. For instance, in this illustration, you can see that retailer, when they buy stocks from manufacturer, they are paying 318 ringgit where GST is inclusive. Retailer later marks it up to 500 ringgit and charge 6% GST to end consumers. The 18 ringgit that the retailer has paid is not a cost, since it is claimable by the retailer. These are some of the fingertips that you can follow, where you need to keep in mind that there is no matching concept between input text and output text. You have to be very clear in drawing line between input text and output text, where input text is the GST that you pay for your purchases or expenses, for instance electricity and raw materials, while output text is the GST that you charge to your consumers. And also, I've been noticing many perceive that GST is governed by the Inland Revenue (LHDN), where in fact it is a mechanism that is governed by customs. GST is a consumption-based tax system instead of income basis, which means you pay GST when you spend to consume. Coming to the last point, ask yourself, how prepared are you to deal with this challenge? GST preparation is not only about workload, it is also about how prudent you are in dealing with these problems so that you can achieve your objective of having good GST compliance as to avoid unnecessary problems arise in the future. My advice to you would be prepare you and your team with strong foundation so that you are able to identify what upcoming problems you will be tackling instead of being lost. I hereby wish you all the best. You folks have a nice day. Thank you.